Hello! This is Janey and Max from Sort of the Story, and we're here to tell you about some things that are happening between episodes 63 to 75.
During these episodes, there are interspersed audio break-ins of a person's voice along with the sound of static. You'll also notice in the show notes for these episodes, there is sort of a puzzle. This is part of a longer puzzle that we did leading up to episode 76, so this is all supposed to be there. Nothing to worry about, just a fun game.
Yeah, and we hope you have a lot of fun with it, and we hope you enjoy listening to these next couple of episodes. All right, enjoy this one. It's a good one, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we say some really stupid shit in this. You're going to love it. All right,
Bye!
Hello!
Hi.
What the fuck? Are you fucking new here?
Yeah, I am. Hi, everyone.
take-
My name is Max. I'm new in the class.
Hi, Max. We gotta try it again. Hello and welcome
To Sort of the Story.
the podcast where Max apparently has never been on it and doesn't know how we intro.
You got a real chip on your shoulder today, my friend.
I got a Ritz on my shoulder.
You got a cracker on your
And apparently there's peanut butter on that.
slackers.
Guys, listen to the outro for this riveting take on Ritz peanut butter crackers.
I googled them after we stopped recording, and I was right, and Janey was wrong.
You know what? You're gonna have to get through the whole
And
episode
Janey
to hear
can go
that.
fuck herself.
I refuse.
This podcast isn't for children. Sorry for saying fuck before I said that.
Oh,
but-
yeah, this podcast is not for children, it's for adults only. So if you're an adult and you like fairy tales and folktales and mythology and two women talking to each other, you're in the right place. Happy International Women's Month.
Yeah, we're taking the whole month.
It's ours. We're taking it. Except for that one day where we celebrate that man who drank snakes in Ireland or something like that. That guy, he can have one day and then every other day is ours.
Yeah, I'm gonna say St. Patrick is an honorary woman.
He would hate that. St. Patrick
Good.
wouldn't have liked that, Max.
Good.
St. Patrick was a colonizer
Mhm.
and not a fun dude.
Aw.
Oh, the house clicked. Ooh, everything's clicking around us.
Hello.
So we are, if this episode sounds a little different than what you've gotten used to in the fancy previous episodes, it's because we're back on one microphone. Wham wham.
Janey's microphone got what is known in the medical community as a prolapsed butthole.
Okay, here's what happened. Last time we were recording, everything was going really well, and then Pepper, out of nowhere, launched herself in Max's lap. Max took it well. I jerked just a tiny bit because it was a little shocking. I'm not scared of Pepper.
Pepper's a cat, if this is your first episode listening.
Pepper is a cat. And I jerked my hand a little bit and accidentally hit the bottom of my microphone, and we both laughed at that. And then that was it. And it turns out it prolapsed my microphone bow. And now she won't record for us no more.
St. Olga.
St. Olga needs a little bit of surgery. Don't worry, I watched a YouTube tutorial. Fingers crossed. Thoughts and prayers for Olga.
We have a GoFundMe for Olga's surgery, which is just for a new microphone once Janey burns a hole in this one.
Anything can happen. Max,
Janey.
let's talk about some exciting news that we announced last week.
What?
It's about Olga's bow. We opened our Patreon.
God.
So far, okay, so here's the thing. Max is looking at me like she went completely pale because we are actually launching in real time, in our time, which is the past for you. Mm-hmm. We are going to be launching it on Thursday. We have no idea how it's going to go.
It's going to be Thursday, March...
Oh, you want to throw out dates?
23rd?
16th.
16th. Thursday, March 16th is when our Patreon launched.
Officially launched.
That's the future for us.
We for sure don't. I don't think either of us are expecting anyone to actually join it, and it feels very weird asking you guys do you want like to do this but for money?
And if you do, then check us out on our Patreon. You can find the link to that on our website. We'll also plug it on the Discord and on our socials.
So here's the thing, though. By the time we plug it on the Discord, it will be closed. So Max, what can they get if they spend $3 on our Patreon?
you can get access to the Discord. It's really fun. Some people post their pet pictures. We hang out and
we chat about a bunch of things. If you are not an Instagram person, we recently opened up a channel that's all of the stuff we post on Instagram, including like the extras that we always promise, the pictures, the books, and you can talk a little bit more on there, which is fun.
Yeah.
Our
and
book
you can
club,
talk to us.
Yeah. I mostly, I think, run the book club thing, which is just I have been reading this terrible, really good book, and everyone who else is reading it is like, I'm on chapter 4, what the fuck? And Max has a D&D
I have a channel where we talk about tabletop RPGs sometimes, mostly because I like to talk about them and nobody wants to hear that. So.
Except for everybody who does. And I have to daily go on there and I have to scroll down to the bottom to get rid of my notifications, and then I just go back to my book club. We're different. We have a lot of fun stuff on the Discord, and that's how you can chat with us. And eventually we'll put up, we have an Ask Us Anything thing, but I think once the Discord Patreon starts going, we'll probably do more question and answers and maybe answer some of your questions live on the podcast.
Which would be really fun.
It would be really fun, and we would like you to be a part of that. And that's for $3 a month, which is like the equivalent of buying us a coffee that we both sip from.
One really big coffee with 2 straws.
Yeah, with no extra things because Starbucks is very expensive.
A fishbowl full of coffee.
Yeah,
with a single sugar cube in
it. Yum, yum, yum. And if you want to pay $6 a month, guess what you can get? Max, take it away.
You can get, boy, let me tell you, a whole extra episode.
A full-length extra episode. How cool is that?
It's gonna be good. We're recording the first one right after we record this episode.
We'll come back to you next week and whether or not we thought that was a good idea.
So you can have one whole full-length episode every month. So that's going to be $6 a month. So if you are interested in listening to us talk for an extra hour a month, then come check us out on the Patreon.
I'm really going to predict the bonus episode's going to be a little more unhinged than this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because here's the truth.
Yes.
Here's the nitty-gritty.
Please tell him.
My parents listen to this podcast. So
but her parents have no money to buy us an extra coffee.
So I gotta be a little bit careful about what I put out there on the internet. But my parents are not gonna support us on Patreon, so
here's my problem.
I can go hog wild.
My problem is I should have that mentality. I am a teacher.
Yes.
I don't have that mentality, and I've said some pretty horrendous things. Get ready for me to fucking burn it down on the bonus episode. I'm naming names. Anyway, go join us on Patreon, please. If only so you can hang out with us on Discord. That's enough for us. And we're excited
to pay for St. Olga's butthole surgery.
Oh, guys, thoughts, prayers, and a large coffee for St. Olga's butthole.
I don't think that's good for her.
Oh, you're pouring one out for her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think I can do it. Anyway, with the business all taken care of.
Yes. Max, check out our Patreon, and that link is on our website, www.sortofthestory.com.
And along with that are all of our links to our other socials if you want to hang out with us and see what we're up to. Max.
Janey.
You're going first this week. Last week you gave a beautiful little St. Patrick's Day
thank you
story. I can't stop thinking about how my entire life I've been calling leprechauns little drunks. Which seems mean anyway. Again, St. Patrick's Day in the States feels so iffy. I feel like we're going to look back on St. Patrick's Day in 50 years and be horrified. There's going to be like a New York Times, like, remember when? And it's going to be all black and white and like horrific. It's going to be documentaries.
Poor Irish.
Yeah, we're going to be like mourning how we used to treat the Irish in their sacred festivals. But
yes, so
those are actually Clericons. I hope you guys educated everyone you knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy St. Pedant's Day.
Happy St. Pedant's Day to you.
So, do you want to just get fucking to it?
Desperately want to get fucking to it. Guys, we're gonna tell a story. Goodbye.
Okay, Janey.
Okay, Max.
I got a story for you today, and it's from a couple of fellas who you might have heard of.
Key and Peele. Take it away, boys.
This is from the Brothers Grimm, originally. We got a Brothers Grimm story this week. I also, I have a copy of this in my Brothers Grimm book, but I found it in 100 Favorite Tales chosen by Stith Thompson, who's also one of the MVPs of the folklore game.
Yeah, he's up there. He's on our list of folktale heroes.
Yeah.
Stith
Thompson. Yeah, patron saints of folktale. Stith Thompson is the Thompson in Arns Thompson Uther motif index.
And he was named after a stick, but his mom was drugged up on epidural.
She bit her tongue really hard, and then she tried to say, I want to name my son Steve.
Steve! And it stuck. So we're lucky he didn't become a serial killer. Instead, he told stories. Mm-hmm. You guys are lucky about me and Max, too.
You guys are pretty goddamn lucky.
You're pretty goddamn lucky we didn't decide to be serial killers. You know when... Sorry, I know you haven't even started yet. You know when you're a teenager and your mom is like, you can't go out and, you know, because, like, you have a curfew and I have rules, and you're like, you're lucky I'm not out there doing drugs. I could be so much worse, and I'm not, and you never appreciate it. That's what we're doing right now to the listener. You're lucky we're not serial killers. All we do is tell stories.
We are so close to becoming a true crime podcast.
We are very close to somebody doing a true crime podcast about us. My mom always used to respond with, that's not a good argument. You shouldn't be out there doing drugs anyway. That's true. She was like, that's not a good argument.
No. So the story that I have for you today is called One Eye, Two Eyes, and Three Eyes.
What's it about?
For those of you keeping track at home, that's 6 eyes.
I know you guys were keeping track at home.
This is Arns Thompson Uther type 511. Once upon a time.
Okay, you're not going to tell us what the type is.
I forgot to look.
511, counting eyes.
511 eyes. No, I forgot to look it up. So you guys can Google on your own. I'm not doing all the work for you. Once upon a time, there was a woman. She had 3 daughters. Mm-hmm. Her first daughter, her eldest, had 1 eye right in the middle of her forehead.
Oh, Leela.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Her second daughter had 2 eyes, just regular style, you know? Her third daughter had 3 eyes, 2 regular style, and 1 in the middle of her forehead.
But she was the hottest one. That's kind of weird.
I also
right? That's kind of weirdly hot.
There's just something about having 3 eyes that does it for me.
There's something about having 3 eyes. Try not to touch this. No, Max!
So the daughter with 1 eye is named 1 Eye. Daughter with 2 eyes is named 2 eyes. Daughter with 3 eyes, 3 eyes.
She's less creative than Stith Thompson's mom.
Stith is a very creative name.
That's true.
It is not established in this story how many eyes the mother has.
No eyes.
Oh, no. Probably.
She's just
maybe.
old smooth head.
So, these sisters, the middle one, 2 eyes, just looks like a regular person. Mm. And for that, her sisters and her mother fucking hate her. They're like, you are worse because there is no difference between you and other people, which means that we don't claim you as one of our own.
Good
We're
for them.
Cooler and better than you, and you fucking suck eggs, dude.
How'd you get on the Island of Misfits? Huh?
Look at you over here with your nasty 2 eyes.
Blink, blink. Who's that? It's you blinking one of your eyes at a time.
So they always bully her. They give her only like ratty clothes that they've already worn out, and they throw her around the house from corner to... They say that they throw her from corner to corner in the house. Which is...
Wake up, get thrown. Go to bed, get thrown.
They throw her around, they dress her poorly, and they never feed her anything except for like table scraps, basically. So she's always hungry.
Poor thing.
And they also make her do all the chores. So they have like a little goat, and every day she has to go bring the goat out to pasture and like sit outside in the hot sun and then walk all the way back home. And she's the one who isn't eating, right?
Yeah.
So one day, 2 Eyes goes out to the pasture, and she has had like nothing to eat. She's starving. She's so hungry, and she's like exhausted just from walking to the pasture. And so she just sits down on a log and cries. She's like, I'm so hungry. I'm so sad and so tired, and everyone hates me. And as she's crying on this log, an old woman appears next to her. And the old woman says, 2 Eyes, why are you crying?
How'd you know my name?
How'd you know? Can you imagine if someone walked up to you and was like, what's up, 2 Eyes?
What if she walked up and was like, oh, one nose, what's going on? Wouldn't that make, she'd be like, what alternate dimension did you come from where the family has 2 and 3 noses?
That sounds good.
Yeah.
This is actually, there have been 2 times now where I've wanted to mention something from the bonus episode that we're going to put up on the Patreon. Mm-hmm. So
it's a good thing we're doing this one first.
Yeah, for sure. So she says, Two Eyes, what's wrong? Like, why are you crying? And Two Eyes says, I'm hungry and tired and everyone hates me and I'm really sad.
Yeah.
And the old woman says, listen, I'm going to help you out. Anytime you're hungry, I want you to go to your goat, the little goat, and you're going to say, goat, bleat. And then, table, be gone. No?
What?
Let me take that one more time. You're going to say to your goat, goat, bleat, table, be set.
Oh.
And then the goat will bleat and a table will appear, set with beautiful food. And you can eat your fill and you'll never be hungry again.
Nice.
And then the old woman disappears.
Oh.
And Two Eyes is like, I'm so fucking hungry, I don't even care. And so she stands up, she goes over to the goat and she says, goat, bleat, table, be set. And a beautiful table appears in the middle of this pasture. It's set with like a white tablecloth and all of this like silver flatware and everything. And all of the most delicious, like warm food that she can imagine is laid out across it. Like big jug of ice water, just a beautiful spread. So she immediately sits down and she's like, gotta make sure we say grace first.
Yeah.
So she thinks up the shortest grace that she can. She says, Lord God, be our guest at all times. Amen. And then she digs in. Just full paws in, stuffs her face, is so happy that she's like crying because she's like not hungry for the first time in so long.
Yeah.
And then she kind of like leans back in her chair and like unbuttons the top buttons of the jeans. And she's like, okay, now that I'm done, goat, bleat, table, be gone. And immediately the table, which was covered in like food and like stains from how fast she was eating.
Did she share with the goat?
I'm gonna assume so.
Okay, good.
Immediately the table is swept clean and then disappears. So she's like, oh great, and no cleanup either. This is awesome. She goes home that night, again, satisfied for the first time in memory, right? She goes home and she sees that a little clay bowl has been left out for her of like bread crusts and like onion skin. And she's like, I don't need to eat that because I'm not hungry. And that's the first time that I haven't had to eat something that they left behind for me. And so she goes to bed. She wakes up the next morning and again, she brings the goat out to the pasture. She starts to feel a little bit peckish. She says, goat, bleat, table, be set. The table appears. She has a delicious lunch. She says, goat, bleat, table, be gone. Table disappears. And she goes back home again for the night. And once again, she doesn't have to eat the table scraps. And her family doesn't really notice anything because they don't pay attention to her or care about her or her welfare.
Sure.
So they don't notice anything for a little while. But after a couple of days, they realize that she hasn't eaten in the past couple of days. They keep leaving out scraps for her and then tossing them, right? Because she hasn't eaten them. And they're like, she's never not eaten before. She always eats literally whatever we put in a bowl for her because we're evil.
Yeah, they're bad.
And so they're like, she must be like getting her food from someone. Right? And if she's getting food from someone, then we should also be getting food from someone. And it's not fair because she sucks and we're good. So maybe we should get presents. Yeah. How about that?
Yeah. I'm not on their side, but you know. I just want to lift up women to this month above all months.
So the mother tells One Eye, the eldest daughter, to go with Two Eye when she goes out into the pasture and see what's going on. She's like, maybe she met someone, just see what she's got going on. Two Eye is getting ready to go out and bring the goat out to the pasture in the morning. And One Eye comes up and she's like, I'm going to come with you today because I feel like you're fucking this up and I just want to check. I want to make sure that you're doing it right. And Two Eye is like, you've never even touched the goat. Yeah. And One Eye is like, well, I'm just sure you're doing it wrong, so I'm going to come with you. And Two Eye's like, okay. So they walk out to the pasture, and at this point, One Eye, who has never done anything in her life, never done a single chore, she's exhausted just from walking out to the pasture. And Two Eye is smart. She knows what One Eye is doing. She knows that she's keeping an eye on her. So she says, oh, beautiful sister, you don't have to... I don't want you to have to engage in anything so below yourself as, you know, actually taking care of this goat. So why don't you lay down? I'll sing you a song. You can take a nap and then I'll take care of everything. And One Eye's like, yeah, that does sound really good, actually. Collapses under a tree. Two Eye starts to sing to her and she says, One Eye, are you awake? One Eye, are you asleep? And she sings that until finally One Eye falls asleep. Two Eye goes over to the goat and she's like, goat, bleat, table be set. And the table appears and she eats. And she says, goat, bleat, table be gone. Table disappears. And then she goes over and wakes One Eye up. And she's like, well, some goat herd you are. You didn't even see anything that I did. You fell asleep right away, you silly goose. And One Eye is like, looks around and sees that like, oh, it's afternoon now. I fucked up. And she's like, well, shit. So they go home.
Yeah.
And One Eye has to tell her mother that she doesn't know what's happening. So the next day, the mother sends Three Eyes out with Two Eyes. And again, Two Eyes knows what's going on. She's like, I'm being watched. Three Eyes is like, I need to go make sure you're not fucking up. Because One Eye fell asleep yesterday. So they go out to the pasture with the goat. And once again, Two Eyes says, like, hey, you must be tired. Like, why don't you just rest and I'll take care of this? She sings to Three Eyes, Three Eyes, are you awake? Two Eyes, are you asleep? And she fucks it up.
Okay.
So she says, Three Eyes, are you awake? Two Eyes, are you asleep? And as she sings, this song takes hold as like a spell. And so two of Three Eyes' three eyes fall asleep, but the third one stays awake. And Three Eyes realizes what's happening. So she closes her third eye and pretends that she's sleeping. Right? And just sort of listens.
Knew Three Eyes was the hot one. And she's a smart one. Three Eyes for president.
Three Eyes for president.
She can't be any worse than any other president. Oh, that's her slogan. That's good.
Three Eyes pretends to be asleep and just listens. Two Eyes goes over to the goat and says, goat, bleat, table be set. And a huge table is set out with beautiful food. Two Eyes sits down and eats her fill and then says, goat, bleat, table be gone. And goes over and wakes up Three Eyes. And Three Eyes is like, oh, why am I just yawning? Because I'm so tired. I was asleep. And Two Eyes is like, well, you slept through the whole day, you silly goose. You're a terrible goat herd. Come on, let's get you home, sleepy. And so they go home, and they get home, and the mother is like, Three Eyes, did you see anything interesting today? And Three Eyes is like, I did, mother.
Oh,
and Two Eyes is like, what? Three Eyes says, I saw her go out there, and she made me go to sleep, and then she went to the goat and was like, goat, table be set. And then she had a beautiful table full of food. She ate all the food, and then she said, table be gone, and the table disappeared. And that's why she hasn't been eating here, is because
eating our nasty garbage.
Yeah. Yum yum garbage. It's because she has this magic table that she's been keeping from us, basically.
Yeah.
And the mother says, oh, so you think you're better than us then? Well, you're not gonna think that anymore. And she takes a butcher's knife and she stabs the goat in the heart. And the goat dies.
Why?
Because the goat was on the table.
Why wouldn't she then use the goat to make their own beautiful food? Ma'am! That's big being, oh, she's been getting money from a money tree? Well, how about now? Chop, chop, chop. Now the money tree is dead.
Burn. Yeah. Two Eyes sees the goat fall and immediately runs out of the house. She runs out to the pasture and throws herself down on the same log and cries again.
Where were you when that goat fell? Yum, yum, yum.
The old woman once again appears next to Two Eyes, and she says, Two Eyes, why are you crying? And Two Eyes says, my mom killed that goat, and now I'm going to starve for real.
Now they're not even going to give me their nasty breadcrumbs.
And the old woman says, here's my advice. Take the goat's entrails and bury them outside of your front door, and they will bring you luck. And so Two Eyes is like, well, her advice was good before. So she goes home and she begs her sisters to let her take the goat's entrails. She's like, I don't even want the good parts. You guys can have all the meat and everything. I'll even prepare it for you. I just want the guts. And so her sisters are like, yeah, that's what you deserve. The fucking guts. You nasty fuck.
You nasty little gut slut.
So they're like, yeah, you can have the guts. Gross. And they give her all of the guts. She goes out at night and secretively she buries the goat guts outside the front door. And it says outside the front door. I'm assuming it means in the front yard.
Nope. It's right there on the front. She had to get a fucking jackhammer to get through the concrete.
On the patio.
Yeah.
So she buries the goat's guts out in front of the house.
This is very hard for you to say.
Really, I'm having a hard time today. So, and then she goes to sleep. When she and her sisters and her mother wake up in the morning, they go and they open the front door. And again, if she buried it right outside the front door, it's literally, they are trapped in the house. A huge apple tree has sprung up overnight, and it has silver leaves and golden apples.
Beautiful. Isn't that the the Swan Princesses, or there's a story about, like the beautiful princesses and the swan. Anyway, I'll tell the story one day. But that's like one of the things. They go to like a fairy realm and there's trees with silver leaves and golden apples. That's like that's got to be a trope in these old fairy tales.
I would imagine so.
That's cool.
Yeah. So again, I'm pretty sure they mean like in the front yard. There's a tree.
Sure.
I am picturing though they open the front door and run face first into a giant tree.
Ting.
So they go out in the morning. They see this beautiful apple tree with silver leaves and golden apples. And immediately the mother is like, oh, good, this is what we deserve. We have been good. And she tells One Eye, she's like, One Eye, go out and get me one of those golden apples. And so One Eye's like, yes, ma'am. And she goes and she climbs up the apple tree and she reaches for one of the apples and the tree's branch bends away from her. So no matter how high she gets up, all of the branches like snap up and away from her when she tries to reach for an apple. So eventually she gets tired and has to come down. And the mother's like, your sister is useless. Three Eyes, can you go get me an apple? So Three Eyes climbs the tree. Again, tries to reach for an apple. And again, this tree is like, oh, what? Too slow. Holding the apples away from her.
What a cool tree.
Got your nose, idiot.
The tree takes its branch and like holds out an apple to them. And when they go to get it, it like takes the branch away and then runs its branch through its tree hair. Like, whoa.
Too slow. Nice one, Slick.
It's holding a little golden, like, switch comb, you know, like the switchblade combs.
Love it. Love this cool tree. And so Three Eyes tires herself out trying to like climb all over this tree and get to one of the apples, and all the apples keep being snatched away from her. And so finally the mother is like, you're both useless. I'll just do it myself. And so she climbs up the tree. She goes to reach for an apple. Same shit. The tree just snaps all the apples away from her. And no matter what she does, she can't get a hold of them.
At one point, the tree, like, reaches forward and, like, points to her shirt, and she looks down, and the tree puts its branch up and hits her in the nose.
Oh, what? You look so dumb right now.
You should see your face. I want some apples.
The tree, like, trips her with one of its branches, and it's like, have a nice trip. See you next fall.
How do you like these apples?
So finally, Two Eyes, after watching all of them struggle, is like, well, I mean, I can try it if you guys want. I'm sure I won't be able to do it because you guys can't, but I can try. And her mom's like, oh, I mean, I guess, like, you're going to be able to do it with your two eyes. This is going to be hilarious. And so Two Eyes goes and she climbs up the trees. And if anything, the branches bow down towards her. So it's really easy for her to grab these golden apples.
You want an apple?
Here you go.
Here it is. Bonk, bonk, bonk. That's it's patting it on her head.
Aw. So she grabs a big old, like, apron full of golden apples from the tree. And she climbs down and delivers them to her mother and her sisters. And they're like, oh, good, now we have golden apples. And also, fuck you. How dare you? That's our tree. And she's like, it's okay. Sorry, I guess. And so they continue mistreating her. Time passes, you know, and they always have her, like, again, she still has to take care of all of the chores in the house. And now also she has to go climb the tree every day to get these golden apples for them. And they just hurl abuse at her all the time. And everything. And probably also apples. They probably also throw apples at her.
Golden apples. Ow.
Ow. But one day, they hear the sound of hooves coming down the road towards their house. And they look out and they see coming towards them on his horse a knight in shining armor.
Ooh.
And the two sisters say, Two Eyes, you're gonna fucking embarrass us. Go hide in that bucket.
Oh my god, it's like that SNL sketch of like, sister, get her away. And it's just Jennifer Lopez who's like, are you sure, sisters?
Yes.
They're like, you're hideous, he'll hate you.
That's exactly what this is. They're like, you will offend him with your two-eyedness. He's gonna run away puking and screaming. You have to go hide in that bucket. And also hide all these golden apples so that he doesn't just come and take one.
Oh. Okay.
So,
they have no faith in this knight.
No. So Two Eyes goes and she picks up all the golden apples, puts them in the bucket, and then gets in the bucket. It's like a little barrel, I imagine. And the knight rides up and he sees this big, beautiful tree with silver leaves and golden apples. And he says, oh, my ladies, what a lovely tree you have. If you would gift to me a single branch from your beautiful tree that I might bring home, I would be in your debt. I would give you anything that you wanted just for a single branch. And
Show us your dick! Show us your dick! One eye, please.
And One Eye and Three Eyes are like, oh, good sir, absolutely, we'll do it right away. And he's like, great, this is your tree, right? And they're like, yeah, this is our tree. We're going to go get a branch for you right now. And they both like climb up into the tree and they try and take the branches off for him. But every time they reach for a branch, the branch like tucks itself up and away. So they can't get a hold of any of the branches. And he's like, it's strange that this is your tree. Because it's not acting like it's your tree, kind of acting like it hates you. And they're like, no, we'll get it. Don't worry. This is our tree. And you can just, oh, it's just in a mood. And he's like, okay, well, I kind of have to be somewhere.
Our tree has its tree period.
He's like, well, I kind of have to be somewhere. And they're like, no, it'll just be a second. And Two Eyes, hiding in the barrel, is furious that they are lying to a knight. She's like, that's not what you fucking do.
Nope.
But she doesn't want to come out of the barrel because she's afraid that he's going to think she's disgusting. So she takes a couple of the golden apples and she rolls them out of the barrel and they like bump against his feet.
Bonk. Bonk.
Yeah, and he looks down and he sees these golden apples and he's like, where did these come from? And the sisters are like, oh, we gave them to you. And he's like, no, you didn't. I've been watching you like get fucked up by this tree this whole time. And they're like, well, okay, the truth is that we have another sister, but she can't come out because she's disgusting. She's so gross. She has, and we don't like to be mean, but she has 2 eyes.
He's like, blink, blink. And then he blinks one of his eyes at a time.
Like a lizard.
Yeah.
So they're like, so you really don't want to see it. And he's like, I would actually love to see it. 2 Eyes, can you come out and say hi? Mm-hmm. And 2 Eyes pops out of the barrel and she's like, hi. And she says, good Sir Knight, I would be more than happy to gift you a branch because this is in fact my tree. And her sisters are like, no, it's not. And she's like, I'm pretty sure it is. And she reaches up and a branch just like falls off the tree into her hand and she gives it to the knight. And she's like, here you go. Thanks for being a knight, I guess.
Thank you for your service.
And he's like, well, I mean, I promised anything you want, so is there anything I can do for you? And she's like, I'm hungry all the time, and my family's really mean to me, and I really want to leave. Will you take me away from here? And he's like, yes, of course. And he pulls her up onto his horse. One Eyes and Three Eyes are like, no, don't take her. She's gross.
Ew, am I right?
Ew. He scoops her up onto his horse and takes her back to his father's house, where he buys her beautiful clothes and all of the food and drink that she wants. And eventually they fall in love and they are married. And she is very, very happy in her marriage and in her life. The moment she leaves, her family are like, oh, good riddance, nasty. But also, I guess now we have to do chores, which sucks. Oh no, we fucked up. We made a mistake. And they're kind of panicking. And then they're like, well, at least we have this cool tree. And that, at least, we can probably get people to come by and like think that we're cool because we have this cool tree.
They can come and take pictures with the tree.
Yeah, $5 for a picture with the tree.
$10 to fuck it.
Buddy, they don't even let me fuck the tree. But as soon as the first day that Two Eyes wakes up in the knight's home, she looks out the window and the tree has appeared outside of her window and disappeared from outside of her family's house.
Good.
So she lives very, very happily. And one day, 2 women who are begging for bread come to her front door. And she realizes from the fact that they have 1 and 3 eyes that it's her sisters. And so she takes care of them. She gives them bread and she takes them in and gives them a beautiful and a happy home. But they regretted for the rest of their lives how mean they were to her. The end.
The moral of this story is that real princesses eat.
It is.
It is.
Yeah, it is. I love it. It specifically says, like, he gives her any food that she wants at any time.
She is food motivated, and she continues, like, that's the best thing in her life is having good meals. Like, yeah, real princesses eat.
Yeah, love it.
Good job. That was very fun.
Thanks.
The Brothers Grimm are fucking weird.
They are. I feel like their mom has to have no eyes, right?
I think she's a smooth head. I think that, like, genuinely when I'm thinking about her, that's why I was surprised when she climbed up the tree herself. She's feeling around for branches like, oh, you lied, there are no branches on this tree.
I bet her she has 6 eyes and she split them between her 3 daughters.
I like that sassy tree.
Yeah, that tree's a real dick, and I love it.
That lady never comes back, which is weird.
Yeah, no.
She doesn't get taken care of at the end.
No. She's just like a fairy, I guess, which is honestly one of the few cases where a fairy's like, hey, let me give you some advice, and there's no, like, tether to it. It's not like, and you have to help me or anything like that, or like, oh, but there's a dark side to the wish. She's just like, you're hungry? Hey, that shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Here's food.
Yes.
Which is cool.
I
like
love that.
it.
R.I.P. that goat.
R.I.P. that
Who
goat.
lives on in memories of sassy trees.
Mm-hmm. I like to believe that the sassy tree remembers being a goat and is like, oh, and fuck you, and fuck you, and fuck your stupid knife.
Wait. Good job.
Thanks.
Yeah. You want to take a mini break?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Hello, Max.
Janey.
Today, I am pulling a story from Andrew Lang's The Yellow Fairy book, which I've just been going through one by one, the 4 books that you got me, and I love them. Just so you know, The Yellow Fairy book, edited by Andrew Lang. The intro is directly to children. I love all of his intros. They're always very informative. He gives credit to all of his translators, because that's mostly what it is that he gets actual tales from that have been written down before in different languages, and then he hires translators. Most of them are women. This one was the first time I heard him mention a man's name in there, and he specifically was like, he translated the Icelandic ones for me. And then he kept going, because the rest of them are all just really cool women who speak multiple languages. It's really cool. But this one is a letter to children, and he said, the editor thinks that children will readily forgive him for publishing another fairy book. We've had the blue, the red, the green, and here is the yellow. If children are pleased, and they are so kind as to say they are pleased, the editor does not care very much for what other people may say. So
Aww.
What happened, he goes on to say it, that there is something called the Folklore Society. And so he says, now there is one gentleman who seems to think that it is not quite right to print so many fairy tales with pictures and to publish them in red and blue covers. His name is Mr. G. Lawrence Gome, and he is the president of a learned body called the Folklore Society. And basically, Gome reached out and was like, hey, folklore is meant to be a serious business. I'm here to document, and I'm an anthropologist, and you're making a mockery by having people, like, make pictures of it, and now you're just publishing them for all children to see whenever they want. Like, that's not very distinguished of you. And he's like, these are stories for children. Mm-hmm. And also, as long as children are reading them, you can go fuck yourself. But, like...
How about go fuck yourself?
How about go... fuck yourself.
I love that.
Yeah, but the whole intro is just so passive-aggressive. Like, the preface is such a passive-aggressive letter to being like, hi, children, if you like this, go ahead and write a letter to Mr. Go and tell him how much you love it and thank him for being so cool. It's really cute. So... anyway, that's the Yellow Fairy book.
I love it.
So this story that I'm going to tell you is one of the Icelandic stories, and it's called Prince Ring. And it's weird. Iceland's weird.
Iceland is weird.
Okay. Once upon a time, a king and a queen had 2 children. One was a daughter named Ingeborg, and the other was a son named Ring. Mm-hmm. Ring was not particularly adventurous or brave or cool or smart.
Okay.
The end.
That kid sucked.
Ring was bad. One day when he was 12 years old, he went out for a ride in the forest with his men. They were riding horses. No, they weren't in a car. They went a long way, and eventually they caught sight of a deer that had a gold ring on its antlers, right? And he was like, Ring's my name! Get him! So they all started to chase the deer. They rode on, and eventually all the horses had to stop because they were exhausted, and they still had not caught the deer. And so they were like, I guess it's time to give up and go home because it's getting late, and we're obviously not going to catch this impossibly fast deer. But they looked around and realized they were lost. They had no idea which way they had even come from. And then all the men started to argue over which way it was back. And eventually they were all so mad at each other that they just like gave up and they just went their own separate ways. They're like, I'm gonna get home first. Leaving a 12-year-old standing in the middle, unsure who to follow. And he's like, I guess I'll go that way.
Oh no.
Okay. And so he starts to ride. And I'm like, you should fire those guards.
Yeah,
they were sure. Bad at you're with a 12-year-old and you leave? What the fuck? And so Prince Ring wanders for a long time until he got to a little clearing that was next to the sea, and he sees a woman with a big barrel. And she's kind of just sitting there next to this barrel. And every once in a while she looks inside the barrel. And then she looks out towards the sea again. And she's just chilling with this barrel. And so Prince Ring goes up and says, "Hi, can I see what's in that barrel?" And she's like, "Yeah." So he looks in and he sees at the bottom of the barrel, there's a gold ring.
A ring?
Yeah. And he's like, "I love rings."
Is this the origin story of Sonic?
Or Schmeagle.
Or Schmeagle.
So
I like the Schmeagle, like a little schmear.
Is it not Schmeagle?
It's Smeagol.
Schmeagle. So the woman saw how much that he liked it, because he's like, "Wow, amazing." He's got like gold rings in his eyes now. He's just like hearts all over the place. And she's like, "If you can get it out of the barrel, you can have it." And he's like, "Okay." And so he leans into the barrel and he reaches down because he's like, "It's not that deep. I can get it." But the more he stretches his hand out, the farther away the bottom of the barrel gets from him. It's kind of like your rude tree.
It's kind of like my retreat.
Yeah. And so he's like, "Huh." So he like climbs in a little more and he's like leaning down and he's really stretching. And while he's doing this, the woman suddenly stands up and says like, "Well, if you like it so much, I guess you can live there." And then she just throws him into the fucking barrel. Hold on, I gotta show you.
What?
I gotta show you because this reminds me of that one amazing painting. I should have looked up the name of the artist. The one amazing painting, and I have her name on the tip of my tongue, where she shows herself throwing the man who raped her into a well. I'll put that, I'm gonna link that in our thing. It's a beautiful painting, but it looks just like this. This woman's just tossing this person.
Fuck that kid.
She's just tossing this person into this barrel, and all you see is his legs sticking out, and she looks really pissed.
She does. And pretty.
She is pretty. Look at what he's wearing. Look at all the textures. He has like
That's good.
wraps along his shoes.
Looks like he's wearing gator skin pants.
It does. He looks like he's a lizard.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So she tosses him in. Then she puts the top on it, and then she throws it into the sea.
Into the sea?
Yeah, what a bitch.
So she just didn't have any... She had a barrel with a ring in it, and she didn't have any use for it? Was it just to trap a boy and throw him into the ocean?
She doesn't even seem to know this boy. So the prince is like despairing in this barrel, and he feels it being tossed around in the waves, which would make me throw up because I have severe motion sickness. And he's there for a long, long, long time. Like several days goes by and he's just bobbing along in the ocean and he's just crying.
Most important question, did he get the ring?
I don't know. They never mention the ring again. I don't think he does. I think it disappears. So eventually the barrel stops and he feels it being like knocked against some rocks. And he's like, "I must be near land. That must be why this is happening." And he can't make it to the top of the barrel, but he's like, "I bet I can kick out the bottom of the barrel." So he does that. He kicks out the bottom and then he has to swim up and he finds himself like eventually on a shore, right? But the shore is like shallow and you have to climb like a cliff in order to get anywhere. And so he climbs the cliff. It takes him a long time. And he's, like, weak and stuff, too, so. He also sucks.
He's a little bitch.
He's a little bitch. He's 12. So a little bitch. But he finally gets up there, right? And he finds himself on an island covered in, like, a big, beautiful forest with all these trees that are growing big, large apples. And the land is beautiful. We have a weird theme. And he stayed there for several days, kind of just, like, eating apples and waiting to see if anybody's going to come rescue him. And then he hears a terrifying noise. It's this, like, thundering, big footsteps. It's shaking the whole land. And he's scared. And he looks up and he sees a giant walking right towards him. And the giant is dragging behind him a sledge with wood on it, like he's been chopping wood. And the prince is like, "I don't know what to do." And so he does the only thing he can think of. He lays down and then just doesn't move. like he's playing dead for a bear.
A possum.
Yeah. He just plays dead. So the giant stops and looks at him for a while and like nudges him with his toe.
And Prince Ring like sticks his tongue out dramatically out to the side of his mouth.
He does that.
Dead.
He does that thing that one snake does where he just wriggles around like, I'm dying. Guys, go look up that snake that plays dead. It's very dramatic. So the giant picks him up and then carries him home. And Ring's like, "Oh no, oh no, oh no." It turns out the giant is a pretty cool guy.
Aww.
He's like really nice to him. He gives him to his wife and he's like, "I found this child in the woods."
He was pretending to be dead and just wriggling.
Yeah, and the wife's like, "Oh, poor baby." And so they like feed him and she like cleans him up and she just treats him like a baby because he's the size of one of their babies. And so he's like, oh, this isn't so bad, I guess. And he's like, listen, you can have this child to help you around the house if you want. And then I put, okay, I guess not like a cool guy. You need to just find a child and then gave him to someone for housework.
Like as a servant.
Yeah. But not your typical giant in a fairy tale, right?
No, yeah.
So she loved him. She treated him like her own baby. And he stayed with them for like a long time. You know, nobody really knows how long, but I think he was an adult by the time he left. Like he was happy there and he was their baby. And he was happy helping them. Like he was fine doing housework with her. He learned a lot. And so one day, like pretty soon after they found him, the giant took Ring around his house and was like, you know, here's all the rooms, here's the ground tour, that's my nude painting. Don't worry about that, I'm a painter, and here we go.
Now your use of the oil is really, it gives it a texture that
Thank
is
you.
just so sensual.
It's olive. So, the only room that he didn't take him into was the parlor, which was closed, and he just walked right by it quickly. And Ring's like, oh, it's in that room. And one day, his curiosity gets the better of him, so when the giant and his wife are out, Ring opens the door a crack to peer inside, and something skitters across the floor towards him really fast and is, like, speaking excitedly and, like, yelling, and Ring's like, ah! Slams the door closed and, like, runs away. And then as he's, like, around the wall, like, catching his breath, he's like, I might have overreacted. I should probably at least see what that thing is.
Probably some kind of schmeagle.
Something's in it. Maybe a schmeagle. Maybe some schmear. And so he's like, okay, so he musters up his courage and he goes back and he quietly cracks the door open again and the same thing happens. This thing starts to like skitter towards him and he's like, no, no, no. And he closes the door and he runs away. So finally he's like cursing himself for being such a coward. And he's like, okay, go open the door. Go open the door. You can do it. You're going to stand there and you're going to face it like a man. Like a man. And he like slaps himself in the face a couple times. And then he like opens the door. And when he stands firm, he's surprised to see a big, fluffy dog who ran up to him and said, choose me, Prince Ring! And he's like, ah! And he slams the door because it's a talking dog and it's bigger than he is. Go away! Summer, go! Get out! Go!
A
go!
talking dog?
Summer came in when he heard me say the word dog. Summer is a man. So, the prince ran from the room, afraid, and he tried to forget about the dog. He's afraid of dogs.
Oh.
Yeah, he doesn't like them, in
I'm
general.
afraid of things that skitter towards me speaking and babbling in tongues, but I guess
No,
that's
he just
me.
doesn't like dogs. I'm allergic! So, no one knows how long he stayed with the giant. Again, I think he was probably an adult by the time his time with them ends. But one day, the giant takes him for like a walk and tells him that he and his wife wouldn't live much longer. They were old and it was time to die.
Aw.
Yeah. So
What?
he thanked Ring for being such a great adopted son to them, and he's like, listen, you can have any one of our possessions right now. I will give you anything you ask for. Just pick one thing.
Okay, but if they're dying, doesn't he get all of their
Well, they're not
possessions?
dying right now. He's like, today I will give you one thing.
Okay.
And so Ring is like, he remembers what that dog told him all those years ago, and he's like, I'll have what's in that parlor. And the giant is like super surprised and is like, first of all, when have you ever been in the parlor? But then he says, quote, well, there, you chose my old woman's right hand, but I must not break my word. Meaning he stole her dog. Like, it's like he's like, I'll take whatever that is. And then I just give somebody Francis.
Oh my god.
That's what it feels like, right?
Oh no.
And so,
Why was her dog locked away in the parlor?
maybe they knew that he was afraid of dogs.
That's fucked up. You shouldn't bring a boy home if you already have a dog.
Yeah,
When you know
stupid
the
boy.
boy's afraid. I'm like...
The dog was there first. Anyway, so the giant
Exactly.
went to get the dog, who came bounding up to Ring happily. And Ring, for his part, who was terrified of dogs, was, like, barely able to hold it together because he's like, well, fuck, I asked him for her, like, favorite thing in the house. And so now if I look like I'm horrified of it, it's gonna look like I'm ungrateful. And so he's like, I'm fine with this. This is fine.
Ooh, I love it.
I even like it. Oh god. Oh god. And so after this, the giant took Ring and the dog to the sea. He rowed them to the mainland in a little stone boat that was just big enough for the giant, Ring, and the dog.
A stone boat?
Yeah, a stone boat. A stone boat.
Stone boat.
Stone boat. And so he told Ring that he and his wife would die in 2 weeks. Which is ominous. Check on them.
Give them 2 weeks and notice.
Oh no. And that when they did, Ring would inherit all of their possessions. But for now, Ring should go and, have an adventure.
Have 2 weeks worth of adventure.
Is he gonna murder her? Is he gonna family annihilate her, his wife? Who knows? So he and the dog went on for a time in silence. Ring was terrified of it, so he tried really hard not to even acknowledge that the dog was in the boat, or was on the, like, walking with him. And after a while, the dog finally spoke because it was getting too awkward. And the dog says, quote, "You don't seem to have much curiosity, seeing as you never asked me my name." And Ring's like, "Oh, what's your name?" And the dog's like, "Don't know."
Harold.
I guess you can call me Snati Snati.
Really?
Snati Snati. SNATI dash SNATI. Snati Snati.
If that dog had a baby,
Yeah.
Snatty Lite.
Snatty Light! I'm Daddy Snatty, and this is Snatty Light. Aw. And so, then the dog was like, "Oh, by the way, we're about to get to a king's castle, okay? So this is what you gotta do. You're gonna go up, you're gonna ask the king, can we stay here for the winter as your guests? And if he says yes, be like, I need a room, and me and my dog are gonna stay in this room. Cool? Don't leave me behind. I stay with you in the room. Got it?" And Ring's like, I mean, okay. And Ring's also, like, a little less afraid of the dog, because he's like, clearly this dog knows what's up, so I'm sticking with him.
Also, it's really hard to be afraid of something when its name is Snatty Snatty.
Snatty Snatty.
No, not Snatty Snatty.
Snatty Snatty, please. And so Ring did just that. He asked the king of the castle, can we stay here? And he's like, sure. The king's men saw Snatty Snatty, and they started to make fun of him.
Oh.
Why?
Is this a weird looking dog or something?
I don't think so.
I'm now picturing a Chinese crested.
He's a big guy. Big guy. He's a big dog. Big boy.
A giant Chinese crested.
Yeah. That would be weird. Ring told them...
That is the kind of dog that would be named Snatty Snatty.
Ring told them, like, don't make fun of him or, quote, you'll have the worst of it. Which I'm like, what do you know? What do you know? Snatty Snatty seems cool. But they didn't care. They continued to bully the literal dog. This never comes to... we just need to know that they are mean to this dog. Ring had been at this... guys. Right? Ring had been at this kingdom for some time. And the king had started to be really, really fond of him, which made one of the king's counselors, named Red, very jealous. He had been working for the king for years, and then this brat with his emotional support dog walks up one day and becomes the automatic favorites. The king is a dog guy. And it wasn't fair, and so Red was pissed. So one day, Red goes to the king, and he asks him to make Ring prove his worthiness. He asked him to send them both out to cut wood. And he's like, let's see who can do the most work, your highness. And then I guess you can pick who's your favorite then. Who's got more wood, your highness? Little did he know, Snatty Snatty was lurking nearby.
Classic Snatty Snatty.
Sneaky Snatty Snatty.
Snatty's about to get nasty.
And so Snatty runs back to warn Ring of the challenge, and he told him to ask the king for 2 axes and to bring him with him. So, my notes say, and to bring the dog with him to cut woo.
Cut woo.
I can cut woo just as good as any dog. Ring
More like
did...
cut a woo.
Oh, woo! Ring did just this. When they got to the part of the forest where they would cut the wood, the dog picked up the other axe in his mouth and started just chopping wood alongside Ring. A dog chopping wood.
How?
Impressively. So in the evening...
he takes off his paws and there are little hands underneath.
Ooh.
Horrifying.
Yep. Ring's pile of wood at the end of the evening was twice as big as Red's, and the king was, like, super impressed, and he was like, oh, I knew that you weren't useless, is, like, almost his exact quote, which I'm like, oh.
Rude.
So Red's pissed. So one day he goes to the king and he says, hey, if Ring is so great, you should ask him to kill the wild oxen in the woods, then flay them, and then bring the horns and the hides that night. I bet he can do it all in one day if he's so cool. And the king hated this idea because the oxens were, like, unearthly dangerous. There was something magical about them, like they were ferocious. They killed more people than heart disease in his kingdom. These oxen.
Wow.
You're more likely to die from these oxen than you are to die from being eaten
machine.
by a shark. And so Red was very convincing, though, and the king agreed. Ring, not knowing these were anything but, like, wood cows, was like, yeah, okay, I'll kill some oxen. Fine. Point me in the direction. But as soon as he and the dog got into the woods, these giant, terrible oxen come running, bellowing at him, and they're, like, as big as fucking trucks, and he's like, ah, no! I made a mistake!
I fucked up.
Snatty sighed and said, well, I guess we're doing this. You take the little one over there, and I got the other one. And they attacked. And not long, the dog had taken the big one down, and it's, like, panting and covered in blood, and he's, like, a different dog now. And he looks over, and he sees that Ring was on the ground, and he's about to be killed by this little ox that's, like, on top of him, just, like, punching him in the dick. And And Snatty jumped on its back and helped him take it down. So each of them started to flay their own ox, right? The dog's like, okay, now all you have to do is skin it and get its hide. You can do that. It's a small one. And the dog, like, gets to work and he flays the entire big one really fast, right? And he's like, okay, whew, I'm changed forever, man, but I got this. And he looks over and he sees that Ring is, like, not even halfway done flaying his little one. And he's like, ew. Can't do it. So the dog jumps in and helps him finish that task, too. And then he's like, now we gotta bring these to the castle, man. And Ring goes to pick up the small hide and is like, can't do it.
Too tired.
I got these little arms. And so Snatty sighs and is like, all right, put it on my back, dude. Like, you have to carry the smaller one, but you can put everything else, including all the horns and shit, on my back. So he piles everything on top of the dog's back and then, like, drags the little hide with him. Once they get to the gates, the dog is like, okay, lay everything on the ground, go get the king. And he did this, and he presented the hides and horn to his majesty, who was delighted at this valor.
Real quick, can you imagine you're walking through the forest and you just see a skinned, hornless ox just laying in the middle of the woods?
Yeah, all the meat is still there.
Yeah, all the meat is still there. It's just no skin.
And no horns.
No horns.
And not only that, but there are 2 of them in the middle of the woods.
Yeah, I would run.
Horrifying. Yeah, something did this, and it was this dog. So these oxen had been, like, an absolute pest to these people, and so Ring was now, like, a hero. And Red was pissed, because now Ring is seated beside the king at all meals, and everyone loved him more than ever, and everyone keeps, like, giving Snatty all these pets and telling him what a good boy he is, and Red's like, I'm a good boy! It's me!
I deserve those pets!
Those are my pets! So he had to take action, Max. He had to get rid of Ring. So he reminded the king one day that he had, years before, lost some things. Those things were a gold cloak, a gold chessboard, and a bright gold piece. Piece of what, you might ask?
Chess piece?
No. A gold cloak, a gold chessboard, and a bright gold piece.
Gun? Gun?
Okay, I'm a little disappointed. I later on put that, I was like, is it a gun? I thought you were going to say piece of what? Max is going to say piece of ass! And you let me down, Max. You let the whole team down.
I thought I was supposed to guess for real.
Could be a chess piece.
Also, how do you lose a piece of ass? You don't treat her right. That's what happens.
You don't cherish it. So Red convinced the king to task Ring with finding these options. No. I was having a hard time. I was thinking about how you don't cherish her is a line that, like, that Cole Sprouse. Dylan? Which one's the...
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
It's one of the Sprouse twins says this. They're like, how do you lose a woman or something like that? And he, as a little boy, goes, you forget to cherish her. It's, like, really earnest. I don't know what it's from. It can't be Zach and Cody. It could be Zach and Cody, I guess.
It might be Zach and Cody.
All right.
That's where they are, Zach and Cody.
No, that's where they are, Zach and Cody. That's true. So Red convinced the king to task Ring with finding these objects, even though they had no idea where to even begin looking for them or even what date he lost them on. If he could find all these 3 things, his prize would be the king's daughter's hand in marriage. The deadline to find these things was Christmas Day. And the king's like, wait, why is there a deadline? Like, we've been missing these forever, and I don't even really want them back. And Red's like, there has to be a deadline or the game doesn't work. And so Ring is like, oh, okay, where do you want me to start looking? And the king's like, I don't know. And he's like, where did you last see them? And he's like, I don't know. And he's like, cool. Can you tell me anything else about them? And he's like, I'm tired. Goodbye.
They're missing.
And so Ring is like, I mean, okay. So he and the dog set off. He didn't really want to do this impossible task. The king also didn't feel good about this, but Ring did like the idea of marrying his daughter, and so he's like, I guess we can try. Snatty told him to do exactly as he said. He's like, we'll get those things, but you need to follow my instructions exactly, because you're stupid. Got it? And Ring's like, yes.
Real quick, what is it a piece of?
I don't know.
Oh, I thought you said you put it together later.
I do kind of put it together a little bit later.
Okay,
and I'll tell you that.
Sorry, I just realized we never resolved that.
I know, we don't. It never actually says it, but I have a theory at the end of this. So he tells him, like, first thing you need to do is you need to go into town and get as much salt as you can carry. Like, more than you can carry, because you can't carry a whole lot. Don't just bring me a shaker. And he's like, don't just bring me a shaker, bring me all the salt.
I'm imagining Prince Ring coming back with just his arms full of loose salt.
Okay,
He's
so
like,
I wrote that.
"Catch it."
I said Ring did that and came back carrying an armload of salt. So much salt that Ring was spilling it after him in the streets. 'Cause I also imagine him just carrying an armload of salt. They do.
No.
They do. He like has his hands out and they have somebody just pouring salt into his hands and he's like, more. And the guy's like, I need more. Spilling out. They do eventually put it into a bag.
And then he fills his pockets full of salt.
I got a pocket full of just salt. Should be in a bag, but it is just loose salt. Oh. No. So he carries that salt back to the dog, and they put it in a bag. And the dog's like, okay, put it on my back. Which was like nothing for him, because
Ring is buff as fuck.
Yeah, and Ring is weak as fuck. And so then he walks him to the foot of a steep, like, vertical cliff. And they look up, and the dog's like, we're going up there. And Ring's like, no.
Why?
We're not going up there. I can't. Snati looks like, okay, dude, grab my tail and hold on tight, spider monkey, because I'm going up there and you have to be up there too. So now the dog's carrying salt on its back and also Ring. And he's just like scaling this cliff. I have a picture of this. Hold on.
I keep picturing one of those in the Flintstones, like all of the little appliances who are dinosaurs, and they're like, it's a living.
It's a living. It's a living. These illustrations, by the way, are by H.J. Ford, and they are iconic, but this is...
I thought that dog had a huge butt for a second.
That's the salt, Max.
That's such a pretty dog. That looks like an Irish wolfhound.
It does look like an Irish wolfhound, and I think that's probably exactly what it is, because it's really big, you know?
Mm-hmm. And also the prince has this look of determination on his face while he's being carried up a mountain by a dog.
He has his foot on a little foot.
He's making like the hero face where he's like, it's what I have to do.
That's what heroes do.
Yeah, but he's just being carried uphill by a dog.
And the dog is like, his mouth is open and his tongue is like, So he's like, hold on to my tail, I'm gonna drag you up this cliff. And this is a quote that killed me. Quote, the prince started to get giddy, but up went Snati onto the second shelf, because he makes it up to the first one, and the prince is like, I don't know, we're getting kind of high. Ring was nearly swooning by this time, but Snati made a third effort and reached the top of the cliff, where the prince fell down in a faint. So now, this fucking dog has to sit next to him while he is fully passed out from the fear of going up too high. And eventually, the prince recovers from this arduous journey. And they start walking again until they come to a cave. It was Christmas Eve. Remember, his deadline is?
Christmas
Day. Here's the thing.
Why are you quizzing me?
I'm just hoping, I'm preparing you for the test you're going to have at the end of this.
Oh, no.
So, I only say this because they made a point to be like, the king told them with 1 month to go, like 1 month before Christmas, so he tells them.
29 days for him to carry salt to a hill?
Apparently. And so they found that the cave that they got to had a window. And when they looked through it, they saw 4 trolls lying asleep on the floor beside the fire, over which a large porridge pot was hanging. Okay? So Snati told Ring to sneak in and pour all of the salt into the porridge pot.
And then it'll be gross.
Like a little prank. And so Ring goes in, he pours in the salt, and then he sneaks back out. And as soon as he's out, the trolls kind of start to wake up. And the old woman troll, who was the worst of the 4 Max, because women can do anything. Happy International Women's Month.
Not only was she a troll, but she was also a woman.
No! So she goes first to taste the soup. And she says, quote, how comes this? The porridge is salt. I got the milk by witchcraft yesterday out of 4 kingdoms, and now it is salt. What is this? And so the others get up and they taste the porridge, and they're like, oh, this is good. I love this. And I'm like, I think I would also like this soup.
Soup sounds gross.
Oh, I would love it.
Sounds like seawater.
Yeah. Oh, I don't drink seawater, so same. So the 4 of them eat up the soup, right? Yum, yum, yum. We love our salt soup.
Yeah.
However, now they're all really, really thirsty. And the old hag, this is not my words, the story calls her an old hag. She's a troll. Anyway, She's like, daughter, go to the river and get me some water. Okay? Or get all of us some water? I don't know. The daughter responded that she wouldn't go unless her mother gave her, quote, your bright gold piece. that piece is back.
A gun.
The mother
It's
says...
a gun.
The mother, quote, says, though I should die, you shan't have that. And then the daughter says, quote, die then.
Fuck.
The mom gave her the gold piece, called her a brat, and then was like, go get the damn water. And so the girl runs to the river. This bright gold piece is shining all the way, shooting at birds. Because again, I think it's a gun. And she bends over the river to take a drink. While she's doing this, Ring and the dog sneak up, grab the piece, and then shove her into the river head first, and she drowns.
Oh, what?
Yeah. So when she hadn't come back in a while, the mother told her son to go to the river and get the water. Because obviously the daughter was playing with that gold piece like a selfish little brat, right? And the boy responded, not until you give me your gold cloak. And she says, though I should die, you shan't have that, said the hag. And the son replies, die then. And the mother's like, grumble, grumble, grumble.
Ungrateful children.
And she goes to get the gold cloak and she gives it to her son. He ran off happily, the cloak shining so bright he could see in the dark with it. It's just like beautiful. He reached the river, he leaned down just like his sister to get the water, but was shoved headfirst into the water by Ring and Snati, who took the cloak off of him first. They're like, yank, shove, you're dead now.
Rip.
So the old hag was dying of thirst inside, and she asked her husband to go after their children and get the water and bring them back. And he responded with, quote, give me the gold chessboard. This isn't a quote. I just realized I did this, so I have to go back. He responded with, give me the gold chessboard. I want to bring chess to the river. River chest. Give me. That's not a quote, and I quoted it as if Andrew Lang would say something weird like that.
I want to play wet chess.
Why don't you ever want me to play wet chess?
Terrible wife.
Wife can never understand the joy of playing wet chess.
Wet chess.
So the woman told him, though I should die, you shan't have that. And the man responded, quote, I think you may just as well do that, since you won't grant me such a little favor. So he basically said, die then, but a little more like roundabout.
Then, and also, I'm offended.
Yeah. So she threw the chessboard at him, and he ran off to be robbed and murdered by Ring and Snati.
Mm-hmm.
As they were making their way back to the cave house, like congratulating themselves on murdering all these trolls and robbing them, well, they see that the troll dad's ghost is marching up the river. He's like, what the hell just happened? And he's like crawling out. So Snati and Ring ran back and attacked it, just started beating this ghost. And then they like hold his face underneath the water and they drown the ghost. By the way, the reason why I chose this story was because I saw this picture. I was not going to do it, but this picture... I'm gonna put this in the thing. This is a great illustration of a troll, but also they are fully just like drowning this troll. This troll ghost.
Also,
and
this dog has arms.
Yeah, the dog is like holding him down with his arms, and he has his like Ring has his knee propped up on the chessboard. It's really...
I like the troll's fancy little shoe.
Yeah. And also they have like a little title card underneath that reminds me of that guy.
Edward Gorey?
Yeah, it reminds me of Edward Gorey. Like, this feels like an Edward Gorey illustration.
It really does.
Right? Like, everything about it. I wonder if he took a lot of his inspiration from H.J. Ford. Probably did, right? Especially the little words is great. I want that framed. I really like that picture. So they just killed a ghost. They get back to the troll woman's cave house, and Snati warned that if she got out of that house, they wouldn't have a chance to overpower her. This is the quote about her. She is the worst witch that ever lived, and no iron can cut her. One of us must pour boiling porridge out of the pot on her, and the other punch her with red-hot iron.
Oh, so iron does help, but it's a bludgeoning instrument and not a...
Puncher.
Slicing instrument.
Like burning. They gotta cauterize that wound. First you gotta pour a bunch of porridge on her face.
She is resistant to slashing damage, but she is susceptible to burning and bludgeoning damage.
Me too. So
Same.
You go, girl. So they did just that, and the witch was dead. I'm not gonna describe it. They already told you what they're gonna do. So when Ring got back to the king with all his gold shit, he was so happy he immediately summoned his daughter and told her he had found her husband. They were to have an engagement feast that would last all through Christmastide. On the night of the feast, Snati asked the prince, hey, tonight, can I sleep in your bed and you sleep where I sleep? And the prince is like, yeah, you can, because honestly, I owe you one or several.
Literally everything.
And so after a while of sleeping there, the dog comes back to the prince and is like, all right, go back to your bed, but don't meddle with anything I left in there, okay? And I imagine...
shit in the bed.
I imagine either you shit in the bed, or like, every day when I go to bed, I pull my covers back and all of Summer's toys have been like hidden underneath my stuff. There's like that ratty little elf and like several tennis balls under there every day.
I feel like I could also see, you know, when dogs want to get comfortable on a blanket and they like walk in circles and they like pull the blanket.
Yeah, he's like, don't ruin what I did.
It's comfy now. Lay down, it'll be perfect.
So Red, meanwhile, remember him?
Oh yeah.
He was hatching another scheme to get rid of Ring. He came to the king with his hand missing. That's right. He's just holding a bloody stump.
Help me, king, please.
What a scheme.
Do you have a band-aid?
So he told the king that Ring had done that for no reason.
No reason.
No reason at all, king. I'm like, you really fucking hate this guy. The king was alarmed. He's like, what the fuck? And so he tells Red, like, yeah, if Ring had just done this out of nowhere, obviously he needs to be executed because he's the psycho. But then he also says, Red, if you're lying, I'm going to execute you. You've been doing a lot lately. So just know, I'm going to go investigate this. But, dude, you're acting weird. And so Ring was summoned and asked to explain himself. And so he took the king to his bedroom. He pulled back the covers, which Snati asked him not to do. But he pulls back the covers, and he revealed a severed hand, holding a sword.
That kind of feels like proof that he did do it.
No, he told the king that in the middle of the night, Red had snuck into his bedroom to attempt to murder him, and that Ring had chopped off his hand to protect himself, and then Red had run to get ahead of him, right? And was like, no, he did this! And he's like, but I had the hand holding the sword in my bedroom. Like, clearly I was the one that was being snuck up on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Red was executed.
Or a lover's quarrel.
They were just doing some sexy little swordplay. Yeah. So Red was executed, and Ring was married to the king's daughter, and they all lived happily ever after. Except
that guy
night.
who has no hand.
No, he was executed.
Yeah, he didn't live happily ever after.
No. The first night, Ring and his new bride went to bed together, right? They had the big wedding night. They go off to their bedroom. And Snatty's like, hey guys, can I sleep with you? And I bet Snatty, no! And Ring said, Snatty, yes.
No.
And then I wrote, his poor wife.
His poor wife.
He's like, again, I owe you big time. Yes, you can sleep here while I fuck my wife.
Oh.
In the middle of the night, Ring and his wife woke up because the dog was like howling in pain. Ring lit a lamp, and he saw an ugly dog skin lying next to a beautiful naked man. Ring immediately grabbed the skin and burned it. Then he shook the unconscious man awake. He asked the man what his name was, and the man replied, Snatty. My name is Ring. What? Dun dun dun! What? That's what I said! This story is so fucking weird! What? He said, when I was young...
I'm not ready.
No, I need the explanation.
What the fuck kind of Matrix shit?
Okay.
What do you mean, I'm you?
And then his wife has to kill one of them with the gold piece. Honey, it's me. No, honey, please shoot him. He's lying. Okay, so when he was young, an evil witch who his father had married placed a curse on him. He would be a dog until a prince with his same name allowed him to sleep in his bed on his wedding night. And honestly, that should have been impossible, right? But the other Ring is a freak who I would divorce. And he was like, sure, you can be here on my wedding night. Mm-hmm. So Dog Ring explained that as soon as... I have to differentiate them somehow. So Dog Ring explained, as soon as the witch had learned there was another Prince Ring, she had tried to destroy him. She had been the deer that separated him from his men, wearing the gold ring. Right?
Oh my god, this is like Ocean's 11
Yes.
fucking...
Then she had appeared again as the woman who threw him in the barrel and into the sea. Remember there was a gold ring at the bottom of the barrel? Mm-hmm. That's her again. And then she had appeared one last time as the old troll hag they had killed in the cave, which makes me think that that gold piece must have been a ring. Right? So... I love the story so much. There was more feasting over the two princes and their remarkable story. Afterwards, they went to the island where the giants had lived and, quote, removed all the all that was valuable from it. And then Ring gave the island to the dog prince, and he's like, this is yours now. And he also let him marry his sister Ingeborg. Remember Ingeborg from the beginning? She comes back. Now she's gotta fuck the dog prince.
Wait.
No. Then Ring went back to his wife's kingdom. He inherited their kingdom after his father-in-law died, and everyone lived happily ever after. The end.
But what? The witch!
She's dead now. They killed her.
But he was still cursed?
That was his stepmom. Yeah, the curse wasn't over until Ring let him sleep in his bed while he fucked his wife for the first time.
But how did he know about the salt? I just... That's a doozy. That's a fucking switcheroo if ever I saw one.
The ending of that story was just one blow after another. Okay.
That was wild.
So some very quick notes. This is a story called, are you ready for some Icelandic, spoken perfectly with no notes?
Mm-hmm.
Sagan af Hringi Kongsini. It's the story of Hringur, the king's son. This is an Icelandic folktale that appeared in Jan Arneson's anthology, Islenskar Tjusogur og Infintiri, Volume 2.
Perfect.
Yeah, no notes. This is written between 1862 and 1864. Jan Arneson was an Icelandic author, librarian, and museum director who made the first collection of Icelandic folktales ever. Also, from 1848 to 1887, he was the first librarian at what would become the National Library of Iceland in Reykjavik. He was their first librarian.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and he wrote like all these Icelandic folktales.
That's neat.
Yeah.
He's not the same guy as Jan Asbjornsen, or
I don't think so. It could be Arneson. I don't think so. But
maybe.
Honestly, could be. It seems like a lot of our Icelandic folktales that we read here come from him.
Yeah.
But how fucking
that was
wild.
Rad.
Yeah.
That was Ocean's 11. That was fucking...
Woo.
Just like...
Guys, the colored fairy books are just one hit after another. I've liked everything I've read from them.
Yeah.
And again, I love Andrew Lang now.
The book that I told today was also appeared in Andrew Lang's Green Fairy book.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Them some good books.
All of our books are linked in our bookshop.org affiliate account if you want to buy your own copies. And yeah, we're going to put all these pictures up on our Instagram and in our Discord. If you want to join our Patreon to get Discord access, please do that. We would love to have you. And also know that we are about to record the bonus episode. Boners. The boners episodes. Should we rename them? By the way, the $3 tier is the hashtag, the Team Troll. It's not a hashtag. Should it be a hashtag? Hashtag Team Troll?
Probably.
That's the hashtag Team Troll level. And if you want to pay $6, which is the price of 2 coffees, one for me and then Max.
We each get our own fishbowl of coffee.
Yeah! 1 sugar cube each. That is the Story Babies tier. And you get an extra boners episode. And we're about to do that again. And I'm going to tell another story from the Yellow Fairy book. So,
yeah.
It's a fun one. So, Max, what are you going to tell? Do you want to give them a preview?
Oh, I sure do. I am going to be telling, I have a collection of stories from Japan that are a little bit too short to do in our normal episode, so I'm going to be telling 2 of them for our bonus episode, and there are going to be some, there's going to be 1 spooky one, and there's going to be 1 creature feature.
I am so excited, because if you guys have ever listened to the episode Lesbian Cat Paradise, Max... That's the same book. I haven't heard the stories yet, but it's the same book, and that was such an enjoyable episode, even though it ended with me fully sobbing and unable to finish my story, which was the Princess Cottongrass. That was the same one. Max ended up having to do a bonus story at the end to bring it back up because I couldn't stop crying. But it's the same book, and it's so good.
Yeah, so if you want to hear us tell those stories, then join us on Patreon, and you'll get to see it.
Yay!
Yay!
And you guys have a great freaking rest of your March!
Mm-hmm.
Woo! Woo! Okay, bye!
Bye!
What is something interesting that happened?
You ever heard of a little thing called, Woodstock?
Snoopy's friend?
Mm-hmm.
What about him? Is he
He's
dead?
pretty cool.
Is he dead yet? He's pretty old.
No, he's going back to grad school, which is pretty exciting, especially at his age. Honestly, good for him. I really appreciate what he's doing for his career, and
but he's a Republican now, so
yeah,
he's going back to grad school because he wants to be a billionaire.
I mean, maybe after he gets a little bit more exposure, then he'll change his mind on some things.
Never met a white man who has changed their mind on things after getting more exposure. I think that might be true. The more exposure white men get to hardships in life, the more they're like, I shouldn't have to experience these hardships in life.
I'm better than this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then if they get mildly successful because they've had help or they got lucky, then they assume it's because they are so great and everyone else is so lazy.
Yeah, that's true. Mm-hmm. It's very much... I don't remember who said it, but it's like, oh, Americans, and especially like American white men, even if they are poor and have been poor for their entire lives, they don't consider themselves poor. They consider themselves temporarily embarrassed millionaires. Where it's
that's exactly it.
It's like, the only reason I'm here is because I just haven't quite gotten there yet, but I'm going to, don't worry.
I want to change my every profile to temporarily embarrassed millionaire.
Yeah. And I think that's true. I mean, if you're like, hey, I'm poor and I need help, then that's one thing. And you also have an understanding for other people who are like, hey, I'm poor and I need help. But if you think everyone else who's poor is poor because they're bad, and I'm poor because
I just haven't found my way to be a millionaire yet.
Yeah.
God.
It explains a lot about the way that people think about
Janey Rabideau on my tombstone. Okay. Janey Rabideau. Temporarily embarrassed millionaire. Dead now. Whoops.
Temporarily embarrassed.
Fart noise.
Temporarily embarrassed, permanently deceased billionaire.
Temporarily deceased, very, permanently embarrassed millionaire.
Aw.
Died embarrassed, but almost a millionaire.
Lived the way she died, embarrassed.
And not a millionaire. Oh no.
Temporarily embarrassed millionaire.
There she is. Poor. But scrappy.
She's gonna get there. It's just a matter of putting in the work.
Putting in the work.
Oh, like putting on the Ritz?
Putting in the Ritz is when you've made your pudding, but you haven't yet crushed in your Ritz crackers.
Oh, like with banana pudding when they use Nilla wafers?
Yeah, but it's chocolate pudding and just plain Ritz crackers. That doesn't sound bad. I love Ritz.
That doesn't sound bad.
Should we go get some Ritz?
Okay, this is going to sound crazy, but stay with me. What if it was chocolate pudding and then those peanut butter crackers that you crushed up over top?
Yeah, like the ones that
with peanut butter in between?
Like the Nutter Butters.
No, like the Ritz crackers that are just a cracker on the outside and then peanut butter in between.
Oh, so you just make Ritz crackers with peanut butter in between?
No.
There's another step to this?
No. Not peanut butter crackers, but just crackers. Mm-hmm. You know the ones that have the little round crackers that come in a little sleeve.
But those aren't Ritz.
No, I don't want Ritz. You said Ritz.
Okay, I know. What I know for sure is there are Ritz. And I don't know what else you're saying.
The Ritz crackers that have peanut butter in between that you get in a little sleeve. It's like cracker.
See, you said Ritz again.
Yeah, I'm saying it now because it is a Ritz cracker.
No, they don't have, guys, sound off in the Discord. Does Ritz have a whole line of just Ritz crackers with peanut butter in between, or do you have to make that yourself?
The little sleeve. You know what I'm talking about.
Max Higgins, a millionaire with fancy Ritz crackers. Ritz makes her special crackers just for her. Max.
Janey.
Rabideau,
I'm at my
temporarily embarrassed by her millionaire friend with her millionaire crackers.
Ritz privilege.
Ritz a living. Hey, Ritz, we got new slogans for you. Call us.
Ritz and famous.
Woo! I think we did it. I think we can quit.